Usually, when we talk about heart health, it's a conversation about what you have to take away. No salt, no fat, no sugar. If you have a heart condition, it can sometimes feel like a punishment. If this is you, I want to share with you a perspective shift that has happened within the medical community. I want to give you some encouragement if you are struggling with heart health. I am not a doctor. I'm somebody who loves learning, and I've spent the past 10 years sharing what I learn about African foods to help others live healthier lives. And I'm going to say this up front, I am probably going to butcher the pronunciation of a couple of scientific words. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. The medical community is moving away from just obsessing over lowering cholesterol and is focusing instead on something much more important: endothelial function. This is the literal heart health switch. It's not about what you remove, it's about what you add to your body to keep your blood vessels flexible, relaxed, and functioning well. Today we're going to look at African foods that flip the switch on and keep your cardiovascular system running exactly how nature intended. So what is this heart health switch? Imagine your blood vessels are like a smart, flexible sleeve. And inside of that sleeve is lined with a very thin layer called the endothelium. When that lining is functioning well, it produces a magic gas called nitric oxide. This gas tells your blood vessels to relax and to stay wide so that blood can flow through it easily. When the switch is off, that lining stops making the gas. The vessels get stiff and narrow, and your heart has to work 10 times harder just to push blood through. So what exactly flips the switch to off? Why would your body stop making the magic gas that keeps you alive? Well, it comes down to three main things. The sugar spike. When you have a massive spike in blood sugar from processed flours or refined sugars, it creates a process called glycation. These sugar molecules are like tiny shards of glass flowing through your blood vessels. These sugar molecules physically scratch and gum up the endothelial lining. When the lining is busy trying to repair those micro tears, it physically cannot prioritize the production of nitric oxide. So the sleeve starts to lose this intelligence and it starts to get stiff. Second reason is oxidative stress. Think of this as rust inside your pipes. When you eat highly processed seed oils or you are under chronic stress, your body produces free radicals. These free radicals actually scavenge or steal the nitric oxide before it can even tell your blood vessels to relax. They neutralize the gas. So even if your body is trying to flip the switch on, the rust is destroying the signal before it even reaches the destination. And the third reason is high insulin. When your insulin levels are constantly high, it triggers the growth signal that causes your smooth muscle around the blood vessel to thicken and to harden. This is called vascular stiffness. It makes the blood vessel less responsive to nitric oxide gas. It's like trying to tell a heavy iron pipe to relax. It's just physically too stiff to listen to that signal. And this is where our traditional foods come into play. If you're African and you live on a mostly Western diet, these aren't just nostalgic foods that you eat when you sometimes feel homesick or you have some free time on the weekend to cook them up. They are literally the cleaning crew that removes that rust and repairs the sleeves of your blood vessels. All of this is so that the nitric oxide switch can stay in the on position. The first food is hibiscus. Hibiscus is famous across the continent, and for good reason. It contains powerful antioxidants called anthocyanins. Think of these as a biological decoy. Because free radicals are highly unstable molecules and they're looking to steal an electron, they usually grab onto nitric oxide, and that effectively destroys it. Anthocyanins are unique. By flooding your system with hibiscus, you are providing a shield of decoys. The free radicals attack the anthocyanins instead of your nitric oxide. This stops the scavenging in its tracks and it leaves the nitric oxide gas free to do its job. And that's the job of keeping your blood vessels wide, relaxed, and pulsing with life. But hibiscus has a second secret weapon. It acts as a natural ACE inhibitor. Your body produces an enzyme called angiotensin converting enzyme, ACE. Think of this enzyme as a constriction commander. Its only job is to produce a substance that tells your blood vessels to tighten and to close up. What hibiscus does is that it effectively reaches in and it silences the commander. By inhibiting this enzyme, it prevents the close-up signal from ever being sent. So hibiscus works from two angles. It protects the gas that opens the blood vessels, the nitric oxide, and it silences the enzyme that tries to close them. This dual action is why hibiscus is often cited in medical literature as being remarkably effective for cardiovascular support. And by drinking hibiscus tea, this is how you can use hibiscus to keep the switch in the on position. I've talked about hibiscus in another video where I was showing how this same plant helps with the anti-inflammation switch. I'll leave a link to the video somewhere here so you can watch it after this. The next food on our list is okra, ladyfinger or terere or okra. We have to talk about the slime, or what scientists call mucilage. Okay, hands up if you hated okra when you were young because of that slime. Well, it turns out that thick texture is actually a specialized fiber. For a very long time, the focus for heart health was on lowering your cholesterol levels, and for good reason. Cholesterol is split into two types. There's type 1, which is the HDL, and that's the good cholesterol. And there's type 2, which is the LDL, that's the bad cholesterol. That's the one that builds up in your arteries, and that's the one that you want to minimize. Most fiber is like a broom that sweeps your gut, but the mucilage is like a magnet for that bad cholesterol. It is a soluble fiber that doesn't just pass through, it binds to the bile acids in your gut. Now, there's nothing wrong with your bile acids. You need them to be able to digest fat. Normally, once those acids have finished their job in the small intestine, they are reabsorbed and they're sent back to the liver to be used again. So because your liver is using bad cholesterol, the LDL, as the raw material to make new bile acids, this recycling loop means that the liver doesn't have to use any of the fresh LDL coming into your bloodstream. That LDL then goes on to settle in your arteries. When you eat okra, okra traps those used bile acids into its slime, and that forces your body to flush them out. Now, this will mean that your liver will be low on supplies of the bad cholesterol. What it is forced to do is to reach out into your bloodstream and grab that bad LDL cholesterol and pull it out of circulation by manufacturing a fresh batch of bile. By grabbing onto these acids, the okra slime carries that excess cholesterol out of your body before it even gets a chance to clog your arteries. It's a natural way to keep the arteries of your heart clean and free from the debris that would otherwise flip your heart switch to the off position. Other African foods that have that characteristic slime, which acts as a biological magnet for cholesterol, can be seen here on the screen. If you would like me to make a separate video on how these work to lower your cholesterol, just let me know in the comments. Third food on our list is the African garlic and ginger combo. These are staples in our kitchen, but they are secretly blood smoothers. African garlic contains a very special compound called allicin. Now, here's a fascinating thing. Garlic doesn't actually have allicin while it is sitting on your kitchen counter. Allicin is a defense chemical that is only created when garlic is crushed or it is chopped. It is a reaction between two different parts of the plant that only happens when the cells are broken. Isn't that incredible? So why is this significant? Well, researchers have found that allicin is one of the most powerful natural ways to prevent platelet aggregation. But Kuds, what is platelet aggregation? Well, I'm glad you asked. Think of your blood like a highway. Normally, your blood cells should move like individual cars driving smoothly. But when your heart health switch is off, your blood vessels can become sticky. They start to clump together like a massive traffic jam. This sticky blood moves through your arteries more like a thick syrup than water. When you eat crushed or chopped garlic, the allicin acts like a traffic controller. It tells those blood vessels to stop sticking together. When your blood flows smoothly like water, instead of a thick syrup, there is significantly less pressure on your arteries. This in turn protects that delicate endothelial switch from being damaged by the high pressure traffic jams in your veins. While garlic uses allicin to stop the traffic jams, ginger brings its own specialized tool to the duo called gingerol. Clinical trials have shown that gingerol works by inhibiting a specific enzyme called thromboxane. Think of thromboxane like a group chat for your blood vessels. When your body is under stress, this group chat sends a message to all the blood cells saying, everybody clump together and get sticky. Gingerol is like a signal jammer that shuts down that group chat. It stops the message from being sent. So your blood cells don't even get the instructions to stick together in the first place. When you combine allicin from garlic and the gingerol from ginger, you are attacking the problem at two sides. Garlic breaks up the clumps that have already started to form, and ginger stops the clump from ever forming. This duo ensures that your blood stays thin and fluid, allowing it to glide through your blood vessels with zero friction. This is the ultimate way to protect your endothelial switch from the wear and tear of a high blood pressure flow. If you found this video interesting so far, please like it and share it with one other person you think would benefit from this information. Now let's move on to the last food in this video, which is the most misunderstood food on the list. Amaranth greens. These greens, which many people mistakenly call weeds, are actually a high performance gas station for your heart. Amaranth is a powerhouse for nitrates. But here's the catch. Your body actually cannot use nitrates on its own. It's like having a locked box full of the magic gas that your heart needs, but you don't have a key. To unlock the box, you need a partner. On the back of your tongue, you have billions of good bacteria. These tiny organisms are the only ones with the key. When you chew on your amaranth, the nitrates make contact with the bacteria on your tongue. These key holders eat the nitrate and turn it into nitrite. Once the nitrite has been unlocked, you swallow it, and your body can finally convert it to the nitric oxide gas. That's what makes your blood vessels relax and widen. This discovery for me was the biggest surprise, that your oral health is directly tied to your heart health. Research has shown that if you use harsh antibacterial mouthwash, you actually kill those little key holders. You kill the bacteria on your tongue. If you don't have the bacteria on your tongue, it doesn't matter how many greens you eat. Your body cannot make the gas. Your vessels stay stiff and your blood pressure can actually rise. By eating these traditional greens and protecting your mouth's natural ecosystem, you keep your fuel tank full. You are providing the raw materials your blood vessels need in order to be able to widen and function with zero friction. This is how you flip the heart health switch from stiff and tired to flexible and energized. For far too long, we have been told that a healthy heart diet has to be bland, it has to be boring, and it has to be disconnected from our heritage. We've been taught to look at some of our traditional plates with suspicion, as if our ancestors didn't provide us with the tools we need to thrive in the modern world. But as we've seen today, science is finally catching up to the wisdom of our elders. The heart healthy switch, your endothelium, doesn't want you to starve. It wants you to be shielded by the hibiscus, to be cleaned by the okra, and to be smoothed by the garlic and the ginger, and fueled by amaranth. If you've enjoyed this video, I think you'll enjoy this next one. Thanks for your attention, and I'll see you over there.